live struggle legacy. It's a whole movement.
I got you, big baby. I keep the struggle live struggle, live music. Pay attention to how we do it. And so my dog who never made it out. Live struggle, I got you, homie. We break it out, live struggle, live music. Pay attention to how we do it. And so my dog who never made it out. Live struggle, I got you, homie. The things we do when we down on our luck, like a dolphin, anything to get fucked up. What you think? Now we out here trying to get locked up. Desperation brings desperate measures trying to come.
Hey everybody, it's your boy MP, Live Struggle Legacy, and welcome to the Live Struggle Legacy Podcast, Season 3. Now, real quick, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button, drop a comment. Let's start a conversation in the comment section. If you're listening on a streaming platform, make sure you hit that follow button. And please rate us. That helps a lot. And if you're looking to promote your business, we are always looking for sponsors. So holla. Okay. I have a very special guest for you all today, none other than the wonderful Tyeasha Pagan, a.k.a. Ty. Welcome to the show, Ty.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the invitation.
I appreciate you being here. So real quick, I always like to tell a little story about how we connected, right? And so this is what it was actually like a blessing in disguise. I was like panic stricken. I was supposed to record an episode and I had a guest canceled. I actually had a backup guest and then they canceled. So I kind of panicked and I put it out there in the Facebook ethers and it was a beautiful thing. I believe, Ty, you were the first person to respond. And there were actually like a whole, several
Everybody
people,
followed.
like more than several people, reached out and I've actually had a couple of guests on the show and they've been unbelievable guests and I'm getting to know new people and I'm expanding my network. So it's been such a blessing. And so we were supposed to bring you on early on and, but we were like, okay, life and we'll figure it out when it works and the stars align and so here we are.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. So, and I'd love to hear a little bit about your perspective, like, because I know where I was at in terms of my headspace and when I did that, and then I was super excited to see, you had a definitely a story,
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And so you definitely have your live struggle,
Yes.
right? But where were you? What was going on when you saw that post? And like, tell me a little bit about your perspective.
Absolutely. So I definitely, first of all, I wanted to help out because I felt like, geez, somebody needs a hand and I have time. So why not talk about life struggles and things like that? As soon as I heard the concept, I was intrigued and I was very happy to see that there's people willing to share their stories and everyone has a story.
Yes.
And I'd love to share my story with you and with everyone that's listening right now.
Yes.
I felt like it was a great purpose and that I hope that if this falls on someone's ears and heart, that they can take it and make the changes that they need to make and know that they're not alone and that the strength is built.
Yes, I love that. Strength is built.
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's dive right into it. Tell us your life struggle. Who is Tyeasha Pagan? Who is Ty? Tell us about you and your story, your life struggle.
Well, I would say I am right now I consider myself a photographer, videographer, content creator. I am an artist. I love what I do. And that's just part of who I am and who I am today. But I came from a long background and a long generation of people who struggled, but also overcame a lot of adversity. So I will say that, from the beginning of my childhood, growing up, I lost my mother at an early age. So that was my first real struggle in life, is trying to overcome the biggest loss I've ever had in my life as a child. And, as a child, it's very hard to understand God and to understand spirituality because you literally don't have much to hang on to. That's the first person you see is your mother. So that was like my very first realization that life was hard and that it was going to be super hard for me to overcome this grand event in my life. Then, obviously I after the losses I've had, I have to, grow up with my grandparents. Grandparents weren't easy, a little strict, and so a lot of that upbringing built character in me, I believe. But mostly it's my adulthood, making some decisions that I had to overcome also, and relationships, children, all of that kind of. Right now I'm 39 years old, so my story is very lengthy. So I'm going to keep it kind of short and sweet and try to explain what happens when you grow up without your mother figure. And sometimes there's just a big hole in your heart. And you fall in love and you think love is one thing and you just never actually seen it. So, one of my first domestic violent relationships was with my ex-husband. And, I wasn't sure if I could accept it or not, but I definitely had to live with it. I was married for about a year or so, and thank God I got away from that. But then I ran into another domestic violent relationship. So it was a pattern. I had to recognize the patterns in my life and those things that were affecting me that were decisions. They were my choices. And I had to live with those things. A lot of times we don't take accountability for what we've done to ourselves. And so I had to learn how to say, okay, step back into your light. Don't let nobody else dim your light. There's going to be people that are going to suck the energy out of you. You can't allow that. And nowhere, not in your job place, not in your relationships, even with family. You can trust someone that's your own blood, and sometimes they're toxic. So learning that toxicity and how can I say this, like detoxing from that is a life struggle itself.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's a life struggle itself because a lot of people don't know how to love. And finding that purpose of how to. You can say, I love you. You can embrace someone, give them a hug. You can give them money. You can give them everything. But the real love is when you actually care about them. That if they're doing something wrong and you can tell them, hey, listen, this is what you're doing. Let's try to help out. Let's change it. Let's make changes in life so that we can succeed and move forward. And a lot of those things came hard for me. And it comes hard for everyone, but especially with someone who doesn't have their main parent. So you don't have anybody to say, hey, I need some advice or I need someone to talk to. And it was hard. But I figured throughout life, I said, if I overcame the biggest loss of my life, which was my mother, I can overcome everything. There's nothing that can come against me at this point. I've already been so low. I've already been so sad. I've already lost everything. I learned what it was to lose everything at an early age. So now I feel like nothing's really a loss. It's just a transition. We transition into bigger and better or greater. And God always has a plan. Always has a plan for us. So I'm very blessed to say that I have anchored my faith in life and have taught my children the same, that try to just step back and look at the choices you make, because life is about that. It's a cause and effect. Like I had a good friend tell me, you are the cause and effect in your life. So anything that you do is going to come back to you, and you're going to see what that cycle looks like. And that's how the universe works. You tell the universe you want something, it's going to create the patterns and the things that you need to do to fix it so that you can receive it. And a lot of people don't understand that receiving a blessing, you have to be ready for it. So
clear the space.
Clear the space. Yeah. Yes, you got to clear the space, clear the air. Yeah. And sometimes that means losing people and losing yourself, because the things that you grew up knowing, you have to change. Like your personality. Sometimes you got to change the way you think. That's the most important part, changing the way you think, but learning how to see things to a different perspective. When I was in my trial of domestic violence, I would say I prayed every day for an escape. And praying wasn't enough. I had to do something. If I didn't do something about it, I was going to stay there for the rest of my life. And that was unacceptable for me. So to every woman out there that really doesn't seem like everything's a dead end, it's not a dead end. You have to take your power back. Like it's all about you. It's not about the other person. And unfortunately, people who grow up in this type of toxic environments, they don't change. They never change. So sometimes we endure these relationships thinking, hey, maybe he will change. He says he loves me, but then he goes right back to cheating or doing something completely nothing related to love. So once I learned his patterns and I learned other people's patterns, I always see things through a different perspective. And I see what energy people bring ahead of time.
Yeah.
It's very important to know. You don't have to know someone to know that, the energy that they're bringing and what is their purpose and intention. Like a lot of men are going to have the same intention. They're just going to want to sleep with you. But there's a lot of people who offer a friendship, and that's great. I have a lot of friends, and that's amazing. But you have to learn how to discern the ulterior motives.
Yeah. Absolutely.
A lot of people have ulterior motives, and with my story, I believe that overcoming this twice was like a generational curse for me. It was like...
You mean with the two relationships?
Yes.
Yeah.
But my mom also went through domestic violence.
Oh.
I witnessed that as a child before she passed.
I'm sorry.
So a lot of those patterns, I felt like it was acceptable. It was like, okay, this happens. We overcome it. We forgive. We move on. But it's not healthy. It wasn't healthy for me. It wasn't healthy for anyone.
And your journey started, sorry to stop you, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But your journey started up north, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I was born up there. And by the age of 10, I moved to Puerto Rico. And in Puerto Rico, we moved to a small town called Mayagüez. I didn't know no Spanish at all. So I had to learn the language. And that was
You're fluent,
a challenge. Yes, I'm very fluent. And it was great because I learned my culture. I learned like my ancestry. It was just an amazing experience. I will never take back from it. But when we first got there, we bought a piece of land, basically.
Was this before or after
after my mother
after
passed?
your mom passed?
Yeah, because my grandparents were already in the age of retirement.
And sorry, I'm just kind of trying to fill in some blanks here.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned living with your grandparents because was your father in the...
Yes. So my father was an addiction.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he was in drugs for a while. And when my mom passed, he couldn't take care of me. He was in prison at the time. And so that was my very first heartbreak, was my father. Because I had an amazing relationship with him before all of this happened, and I just stopped seeing him. He always wrote to me, though. Like, we always had that connection. It never broke.
So it was prison that kept you from your dad?
Correct.
Okay.
From my father, yes.
Okay.
And that father wound, it was deep trauma for me. Because that was the first man I ever loved. And he was the light of my eyes. Like, every time I woke up, he was there. And then like around 3 years old, it was the first time he got arrested. And my first memory was him being taken away in the car, in the cop car. So that really left me with like uncertainty, and is he going to come back? Does he really care? Does he love me? This and that. But thankfully, after a while, he did get out. He got clean. He got sober. He got a certification as a chef. And we reconnected. I was a teenager, like around 16 when we reconnected again.
Okay. And how old were you when you went away?
So when I went to Puerto Rico, I was 10.
Did he go away before your mom passed? Or
Yes, before.
So you were just with your mom, and and your dad was locked up.
Correct.
And then your mom passed, and your dad was locked up.
Yeah,
so...
he couldn't even come to the funeral.
Oh.
Yeah. So I didn't have that support to where, I could say, hey, let me hug my dad or anything. I couldn't hug my dad until I was a teenager. So it really hurt me. But I will say this, my grandparents were amazing. They taught me so much about overcoming this. I mean, she lost a daughter, so, she was going through her own
Your grandmother,
pain.
you mean?
Yeah, my grandmother. So, I remember the day that they got the news over the phone and, the screaming and all that. So it was very traumatic. But she was sick, so we had already a premonition that she was going to pass at some point. But
how old was she?
My mom was 31 when she passed away. Yeah. She was diagnosed with a rare blood disease. I have no idea what it was. But she had some kidney transfusions, and I was visiting the hospital almost every day until I was 8.
So sorry.
Yeah, it was hard. And that's why I hate hospitals. I don't like going in there. That triggers the trauma sometimes. And I do want to say, like, throughout your life, some of those things are going to trigger you. Like, anybody who's been through trauma, it doesn't matter how long time goes, like, there's just certain triggers that will bring back that pain. And so living with pain is something that I'm able to overcome and talk about it now. But there were times where, I couldn't even talk about it. Like, I get sentimental, emotional. But now I understand. My mom, I feel like she draws hearts in the sky for me when I look up.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see a heart, like, it's her. I know it's her.
Yeah.
So,
I know that feeling.
yeah, learning through spirituality. I went to every church possible. Like, that was like my main thing. I was trying to understand why me. A lot of people go through this phase where when something bad happens, it's like, why me? What did I do? Is this punishment, or what is it? And I learned that it was not punishment. God never wants to punish us. He loves us. But we have to go through these things in life to learn how to love him, how to embrace him, and how to become that person. So before she passed, we lived in multiple places. I had a stepdad. My dad was in and out of prison. So, I kind of saw a lot of chaos. I had a fire in my house when I was like 5 or 6. And so we had to move to the city. It was just, my childhood was a little more chaotic.
So this is all in Brooklyn before Puerto Rico?
Yes, Brooklyn before Puerto Rico.
And you were how old in Puerto Rico?
In Puerto Rico, I was 10.
Okay.
And when I first got there, like I said, I didn't know any Spanish.
And things changed a lot for you.
Oh yeah, it was a culture shock for me.
Yeah. But in a positive way.
And it was both. Yeah. Because I got bullied for not knowing Spanish.
Oh yeah, the transition. Yeah, I know that's like coming from one place. I mean, same language, but totally different cultures.
Totally different cultures. Becoming accepted, because this is a different social environment.
Exactly.
So I dived into my art, and I started drawing and competing.
Beautiful. And
I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my respect, however it is. I'm going to gain it. And that's inside. Then, a couple of years down the line, I had a lot of people, I had a lot of friends. People respected me. I did my own philanthropy, kind of, sort of. I was involved in the community. So because at first when I got there, there was no electricity. So we bought this land. My grandparents built their house from scratch. So we bought this land and there was no power. And we had to wait 5 years for them to put the power on.
Wow.
And
so no power for 5 years.
Yes.
Wow, that's a whole podcast in itself there.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
No power for 5 years. I was bullied by, like, people used to bring candles to me in school. It's like, hey.
Funny.
Yeah, trying to be funny. Like
you ain't got no lights.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, people, and I took it lightly because at some point, you just let it slide. It's like, all right, say whatever you want. It is what it is. I know for a fact I'm going to be good regardless of what you say. So, I had food in my house. I was fine. But we had to have a cooler, and change the ice every other day to keep the drinks cold. And meat, we couldn't really buy too much meat. It was like once every other day we had to go to the store and buy fresh meat. Or we just eat stuff from the can. My grandmother was big on rice and beans, so that's pretty much all I ate.
Habichuela.
Raw habichuela. And it was great though. Like I felt like I read a lot of books. I listened to a lot of music. When there was no power, like my batteries were like my favorite thing. Like, don't touch my batteries because I needed my radio at night. Yeah. And thanks to that, I was not able to forget English because there was a radio station that only played English music. And then there was, all
so
the
other
stations. So
that was kind of like your connection to back where you
back home.
What was home. Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about the early art endeavors. Like you said, when you got to Puerto Rico, that was kind of like your outlet, right?
Yes.
I can relate to that. And a lot of people on this podcast, previous guests, can relate to that. Like finding creative outlets, and that being the beginning of artistic endeavors.
Yes.
That can be life changing.
Yes. So my father used to send me drawings from prison.
Okay, so your dad was an artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he was. I don't know if he was an artist per se,
But he was
but
drawing.
he was drawing.
And he could draw.
He would send me these drawings, and I would just trace them, and that was the beginning of me doing cartoons. I used to love drawing cartoons. And then in school, I used to have these competitions, and I used to be like, you know what, I'm going to participate, and I won a lot of them. So that was kind of like where people started to respect me. They're like, oh, she knows something. And it was amazing. I loved that one opportunity of growth for me, that I could express myself. It was very hard not to find something expressive for me.
So were you doing like charcoal or paint, or what was it?
Well, I started off doing sketching, which is, I had a neighbor, when I lived with my grandmother in the beginning, my neighbor, he taught me how to sketch human faces and things like that. Yeah. And he was so amazingly talented. May he rest in peace.
And this is in PR? In
New York. So before
so you were doing a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing a little bit before, and my dad had always sent me these drawings. So I kind of kept practicing. But then when I moved to Puerto Rico, that was just, that's when I had the time to actually sit there and do all these drawings. And it was just an amazing outlet for me. I would say art saved my life, because if I was just thinking about the depression that I was in by the loss of my mother, then I would have been in a different place right now. So art was one of those things that, every time I had something an emotional expression, I would draw hearts, I would draw flowers, anything that I was thinking of. And it's still to this day. Whenever I feel like I'm bored, or I grab a crayon or a pencil, and I do my thing. But
that's what's up.
Yeah, charcoal, I used everything, and markers, whatever I could find. And I used to lose them a lot, so crayons, whatever I can get my hands on. But photography didn't become a creative outlet till later on in life, and I think that photography also saved my life.
Okay, so that was after Puerto Rico.
After Puerto Rico, so at the age of when I graduated high school, and
in
in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Yeah, I did middle school and high school in Puerto Rico, and I did 2 years of college in hospitality management. Then I moved back to New York with my dad.
Okay.
My dad was already remarried. He was great.
He was doing good. He came home and did his thing. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, he overcame so much.
Yeah, I love that.
And I decided, I always wanted to move in with him. I always wanted to live with him. I always wanted to be with my dad. I was a daddy's girl since I was a baby. So that reconnection in the beginning was tough, because I was already an adult. So I'm I want to go party. I want to go have fun. Why are you trying to be a dad now? You're trying to be
Yeah, and I know that feeling. My dad went away, and they came on bro, you was gone. I do what I want. You know what I mean? I know that feeling.
Exactly. I was just like that. I was like, what are you talking about? Can you just be my dad, my friend?
Yeah.
And so that reconnecting, it was hard, but it was so worth it. I don't regret a single day of my life moving back, quitting college and going to live with my dad. I started working, and then that's when I found my first relationship. And then I had my son, and, life was just...
And you were married in that relationship?
I was married.
Okay, yes. So that was not so great.
No. Well, I eloped. I basically went to court, and because we were homeless, we didn't have nowhere to go. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Let's just sign the paper. Let's just get married. And my son was born in the marriage, which ironically, I just got divorced recently. I just got the papers.
Oh, from that?
From that.
Wow.
That was 17 years of being married by paper.
That's pretty common, because it gets money and you got to do all that.
It costed, it was so much money. And then my ex-husband had moved to a different state. So we had lost connection for a long time. And in 2019, I went and I signed the papers, but nobody filed it. So I just left it alone. I was like, you know what, whatever. But finally, we're done with that chapter of my life.
Yeah.
But it was a release. It was okay, thank you. Now I can move on and hopefully find, my future husband and get married and really do this the right way. But I was with him. We struggled a lot with homelessness, not having food, trying to raise our baby. We were in different shelters. And then when one day he almost unalived me, and I said I gotta go. I ran right back to my parents' house, and my father opened his home to me. So that's why till this day I'm so grateful for them, because they literally always open the door for me.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah. My dad, he's still alive today, God bless him.
Okay, beautiful.
And I take
Shout out
care
to
of
Pop.
Yeah, Pop's he's funny, he's amazing. I love him so much. And my stepmom, she's like my mom. She's just been there for so long.
Beautiful.
And she's been so supportive of everything. Like they both helped me raise my kids, because after my second domestic violence situation, I was just done with relationships. I'm just like, you know what, just back up, because obviously I can't make the right choice in men. I'm just not doing it at all. So thankfully till this day, we all live together in the same house. I take care of them, they take care of me, and that's just my life, my family. I love them. We just went through 2 hurricanes recently. We lost everything.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And you know what? And I feel like God is removing and replacing, because I know for a fact we're gonna be so much better, and I can't wait.
Yes, I love
because
it.
we've
I can
been
feel it for you.
yeah we've been in the same house for so long, and it's just been, we've outgrown it. My kids are teenagers now, so eventually when you ask the universe for something bigger, it's gonna do it. It's gonna remove everything, and it's gonna replace it with something way better. I'm just so grateful that we made it out alive, and that was a very hard 6 months.
Yeah. Well, and I remember when we first connected, I think that's why we couldn't set up the interview right away, because you're like, look, I'm still dealing with, you were displaced because of the storm, and I mean, that's so many people. And I'm glad that it's almost, you're almost past that now. Like, I know my dad still, and my dad lost everything,
I'm sorry.
And he's still like in the process of figuring it out, and trying to clean up and trying to figure out, is it worth staying or going, and we're looking at, I don't know, 9 months now or something,
Yep.
But by the time people watch this podcast, damn near a year,
Almost a year.
Yeah.
It's hard,
So-
and it's hard to recover, because the help is not always there. Like, I have never seen like the lack of community, honestly. I was in a hotel. I was in like 3 different hotels. It took me like the 4th time to go in and be like, hey, can you please help me? Like, we need a place to stay. And thankfully this lady named Maria, shout out to Maria, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, I got you. Come on in. Let's take care of you. But we were
Angels all around.
Yes, angels all around me. I'm telling you, we knocked on so many hotel doors, and nobody had rooms available. It was just craziness. It was just, thankfully we are past that, and we have our own place now, which we pay, hefty amount of rent, but no, that's Tampa for you. But thank God, we are alive, we are well, we are thriving. My business is picking up. I love that I didn't give up on that either, because life can put you through stuff, and then you're like, you know what, so I'm not gonna do this. I gotta get a real job. But thank God, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pursue my business. I'm gonna be on top of it, and I'm not gonna give up on that, because this is what I love to do every single day. Yeah. So as long as you love what you do, you'll never go to work a single day of your life.
That's right.
Like, it just comes natural.
So tell us about it.
So yeah, photography is like, it's something I love so much.
And so let's talk about how you got into it, because we missed it. I'm filling a count on the blank. So you talked about transitioning from sketching to picking up the camera.
Yes.
Right?
So when I had my children, we had cell phones, so I was always taking pictures with my cell phone. But then when I had my last baby, it was beautiful, green eyes, beautiful baby. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick up a DSLR camera, and I'm gonna take all the pictures in the world. And my heart as a mother, what was the first initial motive as far as getting the camera. And then once I started posting my pictures of my children, and everybody was like, wow, they're amazing, I love them. Somebody offered like $75 to do a maternity shoot. So I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll come and do the maternity shoot. And it came out amazing too. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really good at this. Let me continue to do this and see where it goes. So after that, I got hired for a wedding. I made my first wedding within 6 months of buying the camera. And I had my friend come with me. We did an amazing job. Like I was just researching everything I could for my first wedding. I made sure that I had my shots, and that's when I started like really falling in love with weddings. So weddings was like my very first passion as far as the camera, other than taking pictures of my kids. Because kids, they kind of fidgety, so it wasn't always perfect. But weddings, it was like more like celebration. It was celebrating love, and I love celebrating. I love being the life of the party.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I am. And so for my first wedding, I paid $80. And it was fine. I was like, hey, you know what? People are offering money for me to do this. Obviously, I have something to give to the world.
And you weren't even trying to sell it in the beginning,
No,
right? Like,
no.
And so I was thinking about the moment you said that, because it's like, and I just think about like my life experience and how I like became a trainer,
Yes.
like years ago. And it's like, I feel like true callings find you.
Yes.
You don't find them.
Yes.
So here you're just taking pictures because you like it, and then all of a sudden somebody says, hey.
And the money will follow.
Yeah.
Money's going to follow you, because it's like, the universe is always inputting. You put love in, and it brings back love back. If you love money, it's going to come. It's going to come to you. So when people offered me, I was like, okay, yeah, let's do this. But I still needed my 9 to 5 because I needed to pay the bills right there. And then I didn't know anything about the business of photography. I had no idea what I was doing as far as the business aspect of it. I had studied as much as I could about the cameras and how to shoot and how to do the lighting part. But the business part, it was very hard. I mean, it's still hard. To this day, I'm still trying to figure it out, because it's a lot that goes into it. And a lot of people don't really know that. They think that it's just clicking the camera here and there. But now that I've done over 200 weddings, I've done.
That's what's up.
I've done so many. I've done so much work, and I'm so proud of myself, and I'm proud of everybody who decides to continue to do what they love to do, because it'll come. It will definitely come to you.
And then you went from photography to videography, right?
Correct.
And how long have you been doing that?
5 years.
Okay. And how long have you been doing photography again?
10.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then that kind of evolved into videography.
Okay. Because I felt like photography was just not enough. It was like, okay, now I want to see the visuals. I want to create movies, and it's a lot more complicated. It's a different ball game. But also because my grandfather was an avid cameraman. Like he always had his camera on him, and he was always recording home videos and family events. I felt like that was something that was something in me already. So I'm like, you know what, let me try it and see how it goes. And so, I still do videography and I do the photography. I kind of do it all in the same content creation. Also now it's a new thing. So that's another thing I've included with my photography packages and things. So it's like the whole storytelling part, I can offer it.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I love it.
So I know you had some other stuff going on. Like you have a page, don't you? Like a website?
Mm-hmm.
So you have one promoting your film? And
my photography page,
photography.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you have another one too, right? That's almost like a blog?
Yes. So my son, my oldest, so when he was little, we had some struggles with speech and things like that. So I kind of had a suspicion that he was on the spectrum. He is on the autism spectrum. And throughout the years as a parent, I didn't have all the tools that was available that it is now to deal with this type of mental health condition and things that parents need to know. So I felt like I needed to come up with a blog or a website or something that can educate parents on the journey of raising an autistic child. Now, because I really didn't want to put a label on him while he was little. We kind of overcame these challenges, but I never took it to where we got him tested or anything like that. So now in June, we're finally getting the test done, and we're doing because in January we had a mental health crisis. So when all this stuff happened with the hurricane and we were displaced and everything.
That takes a toll on everybody,
Yeah.
especially younger people.
Yeah, he kind of got into, I would call it a mental break or psychosis. We had to go to the hospital. I had to Baker Act him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hated it. It's probably the worst thing a parent has to go through is to Baker Act your own child. But he wasn't a danger to others. He was a danger to himself. He was just having suicidal ideations and things like that. And I knew that it was not him. It was something going on in his brain, that it was either chemically unbalanced or, something triggered something else, that he was, started hearing voices, and they diagnosed him with personality disorder.
Oh.
So we did everything we could. He was on medication for a while. We took him to mental health specialist. He's seen a psychiatrist, and now he's doing so much better by the grace of God. And he is definitely back to his normal self.
Good.
Yeah, because we got everything together. We got a house now. We got ourselves together. So he's doing much better
it's a
mentally.
more comfortable environment.
Yes.
Yeah, a more nurturing environment.
Correct.
So, real quick, I just want to make you aware. We may have discussed this. Forgive me if we have already.
Mm-hmm.
But so my close friends, like my brother, he formed a nonprofit called Autism Acceptance All Stars, and so the idea is, the concept is, and I'm very involved. Like I'm a part of the nonprofit, and his son is my nephew. Like that's nephew, and
Awesome.
He's on the spectrum, nonverbal, and it's been a struggle for his mom and dad, who like my family,
Right.
and in trying to find the resources and not having the answers.
Correct.
And so what they did is they kind of tried to bridge that gap for others in the process of them finding resources that they were clueless about. They used this platform to help educate, but also like the premise, like their whole concept is community through inclusion. So it's not just about finding the parents and the children the resources for help. It's also about education.
Yes.
And community. So like he'll throw these events, whether it be basketball games, kickball games, softball games, that sort of thing. These events, for kids with autism, but they're not just for kids or adults with autism. They're also just for kids, to bring awareness that, okay, listen, you're gonna meet people in life and they might be a little bit different, but the whole idea is you understand that, and then if anything, you learn to be supportive and not bully, right? And because that's what tends to happen is people see people that are different. Like you talk, just being from a different culture and speaking a different language, you get bullied. So like think about how these kids respond to somebody who maybe isn't as quick on their feet, or maybe doesn't speak, or is in their own world. Like what the autism is this beautiful spectrum.
Yes.
Where everyone's different. You can't compare any two. I mean, I don't need
Correct.
to tell you.
No, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So I learned throughout the years. Also, I skipped the whole 2020 part. In 2020, I decided to become a caregiver after I got fired from my work from home job as a customer service supervisor. I decided to become a caregiver because there was a shortage of people who would come out and care for other people. So I signed up with this company and I started doing caregiving full time, and I met 2 clients with autism, severe autism, and I learned so much from that. And I also took care of elderly, disabled people, dementia. So that whole spectrum of different symptoms and different things, I understand it. And that's why I created a Spectrum Village. So the website is www.spectrumvillage.net.
Beautiful. Okay, www.spectrumvillage.net. I would love for you to connect with the Autism Acceptance All Stars.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like it could be a mutually beneficial relationship. So I gotta link you. So shout out to my bro JJ, wifey Stephanie, nephew Lil John. So and the Autism Acceptance All Stars, right? I want to give a major shout out. So hopefully, if y'all watching, we we cooking.
Yeah, let's
Gotta make something happen.
Absolutely. So I want to offer parents the
Please,
option to caregiving, because we all need a break sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's very hard. A lot of people don't know how hard it is.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I want to offer my services as a caregiver, because it's not just about RBT or the ABA therapy. It's about teaching them structure and teaching them coping skills,
Yes.
and learning their sensory triggers,
Yes.
and learning how to embrace them as who they are.
Yes.
So I've worked with a lot of children on the spectrum, and every single one of them is different. Every single one of them they have different cues, they have different texture, like, they eat different things, and so it was amazing. It's been amazing 5 years from that point here to know, to learn about autism and to overcome the challenges that I had myself. And I was just like, oh my gosh, my son has autism. I didn't even know how to call it, because he had, he didn't speak till he was 4. He was nonverbal till he was almost 4. And then, he had accidents in the bed sometimes. So, and still to this date, if he gets very stressed out, he may have an accident, and that's okay. It's every child is different. So I wanted to educate parents on how to embrace those things and how to accept your children as they are, not try to force them to be something else when, they're not. It's a neurodiverse universe is what I call it. So
Say that again.
Neurodiverse universe.
Okay. Yeah.
So everybody has, a different brain, and they function differently.
A neurodiverse universe.
I love just learning about these children and helping them over. And they're so intelligent. That's the thing. It's just the genius part of it is what people don't understand.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing. When I realized, when I had to step back, and I was like, wait a minute, this guy's a genius.
And I just saw something pretty incredible about how they prove telepathy for nonverbal children, where it's like, you think just because they're not speaking doesn't mean they're not communicating, and their senses are more aware. Like we're so the problem with a lot of people think they know everything already. You done read a book, you know everything. You took a class, you got a degree, you know everything. No, but you can't know everything about the spectrum.
Correct.
You can't possibly know everything about the spectrum.
Not at all.
You can't possibly know everything about the human mind.
Yes.
Right. So it's like, and that's for anybody on any level.
Yes.
Right. So.
Absolutely.
I mean, good for you for doing that. Like, much respect. I love that.
Thank you.
So, and we got to make sure we reiterate before we wrap things up, which
yes.
we're going to keep cooking.
Gotcha.
But before we do, I want to make sure people know where to find, all the resources. And
yes, absolutely. That's very important cause for me, because I've seen it firsthand, and I am a part of different groups on Facebook, and I've seen a lot of moms and dads go through it. Like, they really have questions, and they really don't know the answers. And you can go to a doctor, but a lot of doctors don't know either. They don't know. This is something that has been so evolving in the past couple of years. And now the government is now targeting, they're basically trying to study and prove what's going on and what causes autism, and what are the triggers, and it's a chemical imbalance in the brain, and also with the gut. Like, it has a lot to do with food.
Probiotics.
Absolutely.
So I have a close friend that's family pretty much, and she worked with this company that makes these special probiotics and vitamins that are supposed to help counter a lot of that.
Correct.
Right, through treating things like probiotics and nutrient imbalances, right, which create chemical imbalances, and I think that it's so overlooked and slept on, because they're so quick to give you a pill. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna treat like mental health in general. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, every child, your child's hyper, give them Adderall. Yes. Or before that, give them Ritalin. You know what I mean? Which is pretty much like saying give your child like cocaine, or give your child methamphetamine, right? Never mind the fact that they got all these dyes and sugars and all these things that are chemically imbalancing their brains. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
all the preservatives, all the chemicals that's in food,
neurotoxins, and
it's already been proven that red dye number 5 is it causes hyperactivity. So ketchup and things like Kool-Aid and like
Red 40.
Yeah, Red 40.
Yellow 5.
Yellow 5.
Yeah.
That's thank God. I mean, I think now they're banning it, and it's going to take a couple of years, but
See, it's going to be a little bit of a...
Yeah.
But at least people are more aware and more alert.
Correct.
You know, and like I always say, I made a post about this. I'm not trying not to be one to like be spewing my opinion all over the internet, but it's just like I get sick and tired. Even people that I love very much, like my family and close friends, you know, try to give my child a piece of candy. It's like, whoa. Don't you give my child a motherfucking thing unless you forgive my, you know what I mean? But like, no, like that, you know, like you don't just give somebody's child something you don't know, you know what I mean? Like, and then, but on the flip side, like it's like, I'm very conscious about the food I allow my child to have and the things that they eat, because I know I've got all kinds of chemical imbalances in my brain because of these things, and I'm trying to like do better for my child. But then it's like, even these same people that love me, they'll criticize me. They will criticize me for the healthy choices that I make.
Yeah.
But then and criticize me for not letting my child eat this poison. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, what's wrong with
you damn if you don't.
Well, yeah, what's wrong with society? Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know what the deal is. Like, and then they like, I'm the crazy person. I'm the 10-4 hat man. It's like, but I'm the one trying to like make better food choices.
Absolutely.
And be healthy. Yeah. You know, it's a weird society we live in.
Weird society we live in, but I feel like, you know, every child is different. Every brain is different. You can't expect one child to not be reactive towards a substance than another. I think sugar is like the number one addictive chemical in the world. I mean, everybody's addicted to sugar at some point.
And it can be tied to all kinds of things. Heart disease, blood sugar, you know, diabetes, cancer. Sugar feeds cancer.
Yes, it does.
You know what I mean? Even things like glaucoma, dementia, Alzheimer's. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
and look at the labels when you go shopping for anything. It doesn't matter what you get. The grams of sugar in each product. It leaves you with hardly no alternatives. It leaves you with hardly anything to eat. You have to either grow your own food and, you know, use honey to sweeten things, but then at this point, some of the children already develop an addiction to the point where that's why they get the behavior. You see them out of control is they don't have that sugar. You know?
It's more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah,
you see the lab tests they do with rats.
Crack. Yes.
They take the lab rats and then they put sugar in one of the little drinks and then cocaine in the other. And they're going back for that sugar.
Yep. And my hope for the world is that we understand food and we understand what we're putting in our bodies, and that, you know, even if our child has some struggles or some type of chemical imbalance, that we are able to learn about how to make that balance, how to make it better. Magnesium is a great alternative to help with muscle relaxation and to calm down.
Yeah, I give it to my son. Yeah, these magnesium gummies occasionally.
Yeah.
Occasionally, like very rarely.
We're made out of stardust, right? Yeah. So everything that we have in our bodies is minerals, and a lot of those things that we are short from, we can't replace it with food. We have to replace it with the actual mineral.
Minerals, yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that, but you know, if you look at the vitamins and the things that it's in our food, it's hardly not there. You can't really find a lot of natural minerals in our food, so we have to take supplements. And some of these children have to take supplements in order to balance out their chemistry. And that also happens a lot in the gut. The gut is the second brain. So technically, we have processing here. And when that goes out of balance, that's where we get these type of behaviors and we get, you know, outbursts. And my hope is that every parent just takes it day by day and really doesn't see this as a punishment. They see this as a gift. Because a lot of these children are so gifted.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to do is open a school for gifted children. Like just have them discover their gifts. Because I want school for the gifted. I've already posted this 1,000 times. It's been like 5 years in the making. You know, because musical talents, artistic talents, you know, a lot of people don't give the time. They'll have the time to teach them or to put them in a school. What they teach now, they're not teaching art. That they're not teaching, you know, I've seen art school, art class, but it's not as predominant. Like photography should be taught in elementary school. Creating stories, that's an art.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things are not taught in public school or in private school.
It's like almost like they teach more like discipline and behavior and like they just training you to have a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life and to go from one box to the next until you're in a coffin, right? I go open up that whole whatever, but I feel you. So I want to get back in it. Sorry, I'm not trying to like. I want to get more. So I know you got a lot of talents. I know you got a lot of skills and your gifts that you want to share. So I want to make sure we're not missing any. You know what I mean? I know you got. So you draw. You do photography. You do videography. Right. So tell us a little bit more about Ty and like what you have going on that you want to share with the world.
Well, that's pretty much what I want to share is that, I love taking photos and I love connecting with people through photography because it's not just about clicking. It's about connection. When I'm doing my photo shoots and my sessions, I talk to people and I try to get to learn their stories. So it kind of all connects. Like today I had a cancer survivor photo shoot and she was able to tell me about her journey and what she went through and with chemotherapy, she lost all her hair. And these things are real stories. And today when we celebrated that victory, it was just amazing. I love just highlighting people in their power and their goodness.
I love it.
And so I've done this for a long time. That's why I think my concept for Let's Play Dress Up was about taking yourself and stepping into a different character or just stepping into your own power and becoming whatever you want to become.
So what is this? Tell us about Let's Play Dress Up.
So Let's Play Dress Up was a concept born from my childhood. When I was bored, I used to be like, Mom, can I just, wear your clothes and wear your high heels and put your dresses on and play dress up? And she said, sure, go ahead, do whatever you want. And I started dressing up and pretending that I was a princess or pretending that I was a grown-up, whatever came to mind. That was one of my other first creative outlets was dressing up and becoming a different character and just exuberating beauty and learning my feminine side. And then throughout the years, I didn't really cosplay much or anything, but when I moved to Florida, I moved here 17 years ago, but in the recent years, I want to say 5 years ago, I learned about the cosplay world. And it was just mind-blowing. Grown people dressing up in Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
I was just so happy and excited about that I started Let's Play Dress Up LLC. And I've been going strong with that for about 3 years now with the LLC.
So what does it do? What do y'all do? So
basically, we just dress up, come up with any concept. Whatever's on your mind. If you want to dress up as I've had characters like Marvel characters or.
It sounds dope.
Yeah, it's really fun. You just come in as you are and put a costume on and let's take pictures.
So it's like, okay. So it's like it's a photography session basically. So you just choose a theme and then you wear the costume, come in, and then you take pictures.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
And then,
that's dope.
Yeah, we have fun. I've had so much fun doing this. A lot of times we get into character and we start, just having fun. I did the Spider-Man. I have the Gwen costume. I have so many costumes. So like the mermaid or anybody, if you have any concept in your mind, you're like, you know what, I will style it. I'll put it together and we'll pick a location and we'll do the photo shoot. And it's always a good time.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it was something that, a step away from weddings because weddings is kind of like a whole different ball game. But then when I wanted to continue to be creative, I was like, I need to do something.
So you got got it born to you a little bit, and you wanted to freshen it up.
Yeah, I wanted to switch it up a little bit, and I was like, I go to Goodwill, and I find a whole bunch of stuff like props and stuff like that. I've done the Gypsy, I've done the Matrix, myself. I've dressed up myself and do these characters and just do content and post it on TikTok. Since TikTok, everybody has grown so much too. It's like you gotta post something. So that was another thing. I was like, okay, let me do this. Let me switch it up and dress up and see how that goes. And a lot of people received it. And so I've just kept doing it for fun. But the weddings is what pays the most. So I stay with weddings, and I stay with, events and things like that, because, sometimes with the Comic-Con stuff, it really depends on the person. But the bread and butter is definitely still weddings, events.
Yeah.
But eventually I would like to have like a sensory friendly studio to where kids can come and they can play and take pictures and dress up.
Yeah, so it kind of catered to kids on the spectrum.
Correct.
Yeah. See, I'm really excited. I got to hook you up with my bro and the autism acceptance also like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
it'll be awesome.
Yeah, I think y'all could cook.
Yeah.
Because like everything you're saying are things that he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And I mean he's doing. And so it's like y'all,
that'd be
like
cool.
that. Yeah, we definitely need to collab on that.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Okay, so so you got, and I felt like you told me you had like a blog. Maybe I'm tripping.
The blog is the Spectrum Village.
Okay, that's the blog. Okay,
Yes.
Spectrum Village. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where I'm still building on that, but we're posting about the information, newsletters,
So resources,
articles, resources. Yeah, there's a lot of waiting lists for ABA therapy. I don't know if you've seen the movie Spellers, but there's a technique now called spelling to communicate, where children on the spectrum or nonverbal, they can use the spelling technique to communicate and find their voice. So that's another thing that I've learned with caregiving, and I want people to know that there is other alternatives out there, that you can have your child speak, even though they don't, they can't really speak, but they can spell. And it's just a really good cause, and I can't wait to grow in that part. But we're gonna have a little bit of everything. We're gonna have newsletters. We're gonna have blogs. We're gonna have vlogs and videos and stories. Hopefully, parents can come forward and speak about their stories and get some help, because it's definitely a journey and a struggle. Like for any parent, it doesn't matter where on the spectrum your child is. If you're raising a child on the spectrum, it's a struggle.
Well, I just want to thank you for the work that you're doing with
Thank
that,
you.
because I think it's definitely very important work, and it's very appreciated work, and it's very needed work.
Yeah.
Like there's a big space for that, and like I can't tell you, I mean pretty much every single person I know has somebody in their life that is on the spectrum or is affected by, the lack of resources, the lack of knowledge, the lack of,
Right.
So I think that's a beautiful thing that you're doing. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I definitely want to put my heart into this, and I hope that, my 17 years of experience will serve as hope for someone else that, may not have hope in their child.
And I think like the way I took, like I know, there's other people that provide resources. You can find certain things, government sites, or even, just private sector sites, or whatever the case may be. But what you said that I haven't heard of is like actually like trying to help people with childcare, because that's the hardest thing. And I know that sometimes even like kind of throws a big wedge in between relationships, otherwise healthy relationships, but there starts to become this because the parents don't get a break, and the parents don't get to date. It's just this constant full time, and I've seen people, it's like the spiral, and it's like, I think that's such a beautiful resource for parents.
Yes.
That are pouring their all into their children.
Correct.
And they need help, they need support. So
I'd love to help any parent that needs a caregiver. If they need a break, whatever it could be, I'd be happy to, because I can understand what they go through, and I know how to treat them. Like I know that some of these impulses, something they can't control. It's a disconnect from the body and the brain. So a lot of parents, what happens is, they forget about taking care of themselves, and we have to take care of ourselves. We want to be 100% for our children. We also have to take a step back and take care of ourselves. So, and as a parent, it's happened to me too. I mean, I've been burnt out for a long time, and I just don't want to see that in any other mom or dad. Like, I want them to have that time. that way they could take care of themselves as well, and also put into their children.
Yeah.
So I hope I can help anybody who needs that.
I love that. Thank you for that.
Of course.
Okay, so what else you got going on that you want to share with the audience on the platform?
What else I got going on? Really nothing much besides the photography and the caregiving part. I just started cooking though.
Okay.
I love cooking, and that also ties in with the spectrum too, because I've dealt with a lot of children who like different textures and crispy, and they just have this thing. They don't want to eat a lot of stuff because they just have a texture thing.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I'm developing a system. I want to learn how to cook more, of course. I cook a lot of Spanish food.
Do you incorporate your photography into your food?
I do.
Yeah,
Yes, I love food photography too. I love any type of photography. I can go landscape. We can do wildlife. I've done almost every single thing of it. But food, I love taking pictures of food too. I mean, I'm a foodie. I love to eat.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things that tie into that is the health. So food is definitely one of those things I'm gonna continue to develop and hopefully be able to cook for the masses. I've always loved to serve. That's one thing I've also done with a couple of friends. Group called Care. Care was around in 2017. The founder, his name is Ramon Agostini, passed away, unfortunately. Passed away in 2023.
Right.
We used to go out and serve food to the homeless and to the most needy. So I want to continue that mission as well. And I want to hopefully have my own soup kitchen and serve the underserved, basically.
Yeah, I love that. Serving the underserved.
Yeah.
You just said one thing, like, I got to give a special shout out to my mom, who unfortunately I lost recently. But like thank you. One thing that my mom instilled in us from a very young age is to be charitable.
Yes.
And so, I mean, as young as I can remember, I mean, we went, she brought us everywhere from like soup kitchens, feeding the homeless, to like, food and secure kids that live with homes. And, I remember she took me to, as a child, she took me to PARC, the Pinellas Association for at the time it was called PARC, it was Pinellas Association for Retarded Children, so people like for extreme mental health,
right.
You know what I mean, and disability, and so she brought us as an early age to show, us like, listen, not everybody is fortunate as you in terms of home life and physical, mental ability, and so she would teach us to be charitable and to be understanding.
It's always good to teach the children that. Yeah,
and so I think that's a beautiful thing, and there's such a big space for that.
Yes.
And like, I know for a fact that not everyone is exposed to that from early on. So that's another big space where, like, okay, we need more of that, like more getting people involved, more roll calls, like, hey, you want to help out? Right. Hey, you got extra time? You know what I mean? Let's go over here and do this.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And getting other kids involved. I mean, I think that's big. I know it was really big in terms of like my growth and development, and just understanding humanity and that, diversity in terms of like, not just cultures and, religions and whatnot, but actual like mental, physical, diversity in people. So, thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. Being of service is a blessing, because, when you have the opportunity to serve someone, you have the opportunity to open their heart and to believe in something, to have hope at the very least, And I was taught early on too, that we can all be in that position. We can all be with nothing, and just in an instant. And it could be us that we need a plate of food, or we need $1 or $2, or we need to pay a bill, or So that humility that I grew up with, it's really shaped who I am. So I really love that I've been surrounded by friends and people who actually have the same values. And even though now we can't go out there and actually serve because the police came around a couple of times and they shut us down, and so we had to stop doing that. But we did create like care packages, and we would go give them out. We would collect coats and when it was cold and give them away, you know, little things here and there. But the food part, unless we had a license and we had an actual facility, we couldn't serve. So that kind of had to stop. But that's something I would love to pick up again, and you know, at least have a facility where we can do it and then we don't get in trouble. But in Tampa, it is so needed, and I'm so grateful that I met these people online. And we started serving, and at some point, even though we can't do it anymore, we still have that mission.
Yeah, yeah, and you can still figure out a way.
Yes.
You know, you figure out a way to do it and work around it.
It doesn't matter. You can care. Yeah, you can care for anybody and anytime if you have extra anything.
Exactly.
Supplies, whatever, women products, hygiene products, Dollar Tree stuff, you know, put in a Ziploc bag and hand them out.
Yeah.
It's something, you know, but it's giving people hope. Like when these hurricanes passed, you know, I wanted to cook so bad. I was like, oh, I want to cook for everybody. And it was so hard to find a hot meal. Everybody was eating fast food and, you know, things from cold. And I was like, wow, we really need some community, some love.
Yeah.
And I love to serve like a hot plate. Yeah.
So one of my guests, he actually is pretty involved in the community in St. Pete area, and he owns a pawn shop and a gun shop, and he also, it's like financial advising, taxes, business brokerage, that sort of thing. And so he took some of the success that he's accumulated through this community local business, and he gave back, and they did, I don't know how many sandwiches, like thousands of sandwiches, and care packages. And I mean, I think to this day, you could go over there and say like, hey, look, you know, I'm down bad. Can you help me out? They have care packages there. Nice. So there was definitely some community involvement in some areas. Yeah. I know the beaches like really kind of helped out. You know, I don't really know like what I saw within my, you know, realm, my social realm. And I'm not big on news and seeing like what's going on. I mean, of course you see it on Facebook. Right. And I did see, you know, you had some people that weren't real supportive of others, and but there was some pretty cool communities coming together to help people out. People like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
People like my bro. And
absolutely.
So okay, we talked about your photography, right? And then we talked about your site that raises awareness and provides resources.
Correct.
But do you have a website where people can actually commission you for work?
Well, at the moment, I'm still under construction with that website.
Okay.
However, the spectrumvillage.net, that is where I am most active right now. Okay. So anything related to either caregiving, photography, however.
Oh, you're doing that you're doing the photography through Spectrum?
Oh yeah, because I have clients that need photography, that their children are on the spectrum, and it's a little bit harder to get them a regular photographer. So yeah, I offer those services to parents as well. So you can reach me there, but I also have my Instagram, I am Ty Photos.
Say that again?
I am Ty Photos.
See, I didn't even know about that. So you gotta make sure you add me so I can tag you and stuff as I'm promoting this podcast.
Instagram is I am Ty Photos.
Okay, spell it for us because we don't know how to spell.
I
don't know how to spell.
Yeah, I got you. IAMTYEPHOTOS.
Okay. I am Ty Photos, just like it sounds.
Correct.
I am Ty Photos, no underscores, no dots, none of that. Okay. Nothing. I am Ty Photos. Right, at I am Ty Photos, IG, right. So, and this is something I've learned, right, because I'm kind of old school, and I'm all about the website. Gotta get the website right. And all my bros are like, man, people don't use websites anymore; they use IG.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yes.
So, for those of you that don't use websites anymore, use IG. I am Ty Photo.
Follow me. Okay. Reach out to me there. Yeah. Anything you need. I'm very responsive. I'm kind of always on the internet.
Okay.
My Facebook is under my real name. It's Tyeasha Pagan. I've been on Facebook for over like 12 years. I'm a monetized content creator.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I get paid for this. So, I have almost 8,000 followers now. We're going to reach 10, 20, 30, as much as we can.
So I'm not trying to be in your business, but does they pay okay? Like I always see people.
It pays what it pays. It depends on the work you put it in.
Yeah.
I haven't put in as much effort as I could because I have the photography business. But I get paid. I get a little chip change here and there. I get like $50 every month, almost 80. 100.
That's great. I mean, hey, you're proposing. Yeah. And see, okay, I gotta admit, because I didn't know you did that, and I respect that, and I love that. And I'm working on it. I don't know what thing. It's crazy because I put out all this stuff like, how do you actually get paid on this? I'm not getting paid on it. It's professional.
You have to earn it.
Okay, so, but real quick, what kind of grinds my gears a little bit, so to speak. When people post these traps, and it drives me crazy. You can tell they're just trying to get engagement. They post controversial stuff. So for anybody that does that, I'm just going to tell you, I got a hard unfollow button. Like when I see that, I feel like you're like playing with me, trying to get me to engage into your, and I'm saying that to say like you're not one of those people. Your posts are truly engaging, and you know what I mean. Like they're seem to be sincere. You know what I mean? So keep doing it.
Thank you. What I mean? I appreciate it. And anybody who wants to be a monetized content creator, you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I will definitely help out. Because I want everybody to win. We want everybody to put money in their pocket. Right. So I know that it's earned. Like Facebook has their rules, and they just like one day there was a glitch the other day, fired everybody.
Yeah, I heard people talking about
it. It was crazy. It was crazy. Everybody was going nuts. But it is a journey. It's a process. Excuse me. But becoming a content creator is engaging too. You gotta engage with your audience. You gotta comment. You gotta make sure you're on it, because otherwise it's like you get $5 or 10 cents per post. Yeah. But it's been a building process for me as far as the content, and who knows? Someday I'll make $800 a month. There's people making thousands.
Yeah.
There's groups of content creators. Add those groups. Make sure you connect with people. Comment topics and things like that. Clickbait. Yeah, you're going to get a clickbait here and there, but if you're genuine and what you're posting is authentic and it's true to your brand and whatever you do, it's definitely going to sell. Yeah. And you get paid for it.
Yeah, okay.
It's coins.
Okay, so look, we got this audience right here. I want to make sure that you put it all out there. Anything that you want to promote, anything that you have going on in the present, anything you want to promote that you got going on in the future, tell them, Ty. The platform's yours. So talk to them. And then real quick, give them a little bit of advice, right? Anybody that's going through something out there, right, that may need that little extra, jewel from Ty, something that maybe help you make it through everything you're going through. People need to hear this stuff.
Absolutely. So I am Ty Photos on my Instagram, Facebook, Tyeasha Pagan. I have another page, The Power of Words and Silence. The Power of Words and Silence is a page where you can speak your mind, post quotes, memes, whatever you feel. That is also linked to my other page, Tyeasha Pagan. Let's Play Dress Up LLC is on Facebook as well. My website for Spectrum Village, spectrumvillage.net. It's dedicated to caregiving for autistic children. Just follow me, send me a message. Whatever you would like to do, I definitely am responsive. I want everybody to connect. And my advice for anybody who's going through something right now is to really center your heart and your spirit into yourself, into God, into what exactly you really want. And sometimes we don't know what we want, but the universe is going to give us what we need. And what we need is community. We need love. We need togetherness. We're not in this alone. None of us are in this alone. There's always people. There's always something that is going to continue to motivate you. I encourage everyone to find that purpose. Find that fire, that fuel, that impulses you forward. And sometimes it's going to take us a while to get there, but don't give up. Do not give up. Never surrender. and keep going. Just keep swimming. You know, like Dory. Is that
That's right. Yeah, okay.
Just keep swimming.
I love it. Yeah.
So thank you so much for the invitation today. I appreciate it. I had an amazing time.
Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you.
It's been a blessing to have you. Thank you for blessing our platform. I really enjoyed our conversation tonight. And so, yeah, y'all, Ty. Like, this is a woman of the people right here. Make sure y'all tap in. I am Ty Photos. Make sure y'all, you know, if you want to commission her, you want to follow her, see what she's going on with I want to see
Just
some.
connect with me. Absolutely, connect with me.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have a lot going on.
I'm ready for the food pics. I didn't know you had the food pics. I'm big on food.
Yes.
You know. I think I'm a food photographer. I never post them though. I send them to my family and like, oh, you know, maybe I need to post them. Maybe it's content engagement. Right?
Yes.
No, I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the
Anytime.
show. And thank you all for watching. I appreciate y'all. Make sure if you haven't already done so, you do hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button. Drop a comment. If you're listening on a streaming platform, hit that follow button. Hit that notification button. And get active in the comment. Rate us. I appreciate y'all checking in. If you want to promote your business or your brand, holler at me. I'm always looking for sponsors. It's Live Struggle Legacy. We building pyramids.
At Autism Acceptance All-Stars, it's more than awareness, it's action. When you sign up at the AAAS.org, you join a movement for acceptance, inclusion, and real impact. Don't miss our Memories Delivered program. We bring professional photographers right to the homes of autism families, capturing genuine moments in the comfort of their own space. Becoming an All-Star is free, but the difference you make is priceless. Visit the AAAS.org today. Be seen, be heard, be an all-star. If you'd like to promote your business on the show, please DM us for sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for tuning in. We out. Live Struggle Legacy. It's a whole movement.